just like a nice fun, it's not fun actually at all, but just a article I found online, and it is true crime, and I think it's funny that I say in my last video, in a video before that, in a live, I'm like, guys, I can't do true crime anymore. It's just so exhausting. But then I took such a long break that now County or Queens, and potentially one more in California. It is unclear whether or not that his confession, however, whether or not if his confession was actually true. Drayton has 5 prior arrests in Connecticut, including a 2011 arrest for strangulation. So that's 1 of 11. which caused him to murder her and end up dissolving her body in hydrochloric acid. He then left the bones on the balcony of his apartment. An emotionless Emmanuel was later arrested for the murder. Number 5. Jordan Matthews beat his girlfriend to death after believing he saw a Tinder notification on her phone. So, 23-year-old Jordan Matthews from Cardiff, United Kingdom, was dating 24-year-old I don't know how to pronounce her name, but her last name is Bai. In August, it's XI, sorry. In August of 2017, the couple was spending time together when Matthews saw what he believed to be a notification from a man named Ben from Tinder on her phone. Matthews went into a rage over the message, and the two had began to argue. The argument turned into physical violence, and he had started beating her, breaking her jaw and several ribs, ultimately leading and resulting in her death. Matthews was arrested, and during his trial, it was revealed that he was physically and verbally abusive throughout their entire relationship. Investigators would later discover that Bai didn't even have the app on her phone, and so she died simply from his own insecurities and abuse. Truly, this guy sounds horrible. He received 18 years sentence in prison for his crimes. Number 6. Emil Sillers tried to murder his wife so that he could move on with his Tinder lover. So 37-year-old British Army Sergeant Emil Sillers allegedly tried to kill his wife, one night in November of 2016, Jay arrived home and Lambert was there hiding in her closet. That shit scares me so much. He had jumped out and began repeatedly stabbing her while pouring gasoline on her. She had managed to escape the attack and went to her neighbor's home, who assisted the doctor with her wounds. In all, Jay was stabbed 11 times by Lambert, and Lambert left the residence after the stabbing, was later involved in a police chase. The police ended up actually shooting him to death. Now that was all very sad stories. The idea of someone jumping out of my closet like my ex and stabbing me and trying to set me on fire is terrifying. It kind of really just shows how unstable and possessive people get so quickly, like very intensely. And I feel really bad for all of these people. Like, that is insane. And they're just trying to find love, you know? Like, that's actually very, very sad. Like, why do people have to be so freaking crazy? Anyway, that is me kind of returning back to true crime. Kind of. I just told you 11 murders. And I hope that it was relaxing for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed having me back. And I hope you all look forward to seeing me again next week for another ASMR, most likely true crime or something creepy story once again. If you have not already, please like and subscribe to my channel, as I should be putting out new true crime ASMR videos every Wednesday/Thursday, but Wednesday. Thank you guys all so much for joining me today. It's I don't know, it's really hard when you've stopped for a while to get back into things. Like, there's so many little things that you need to remember, like how to breathe properly and how when I laugh I can shake my entire screen, and like all these little things. And I find when I haven't filmed in a while, I'll talk really fast and I have to like slow down and I can be awkward. So thanks for being there with me during that phase. Next week's video will be so much better. Unless you loved this one, then yeah, I mean, amazing. I'm so great. I know it's a gift. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. Please, please be careful, be safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Random, but tell me what you guys think. I tried the like TikTok trend for my lipstick. Let me get real close here. I'll put this at the end of the video, but I did like, gosh, you can see all my everything, but I did like the, your perfect lip color is your eyebrow color as a liner, and then your blush as a center with just like a gloss on top. What do you think? I'm sorry, what do you think though? Pretty alright? Or does it look like I'm a corpse? Because I feel like maybe